Good to see you here. Thank you so much for being a part of the Tuesday live. Like you chose yourselves and you chose me. And our guest is on board. Right on time. You don't want to miss this one, especially with the person that we're going to interview, because wow, interesting. I don't know how she does it, but today I intend on learning from her. So yeah, let's learn, guys. Let's learn. I am going to add our guest just now so that we can commence with our live. Hello.
Hi, how are you? I'm good. Can you see me?
Perfectly.
Okay, let me shift it a bit
Yeah,
because I'm so close
yeah.
to the screen.
We're good.
Yeah. Okay. Cool.
Hi, everybody, and welcome to our Tuesday Live with myself, your host, Queen E, and I am joined by Takalani M, national best-selling author. Welcome, my darling.
Hi. Thank you for having
Lovely.
me.
Thank you for honoring our invitation and joining us. We are looking forward to hearing from you, by the way. I couldn't wait.
Woo. Well, okay. I'll try to calm down. Yes, because I always get so nervous when I have to speak about anything, but because I wrote books, then I must talk about them.
Don't worry.
I'm excited.
I'm here for you. We are here for you. The people are here for you. We will make sure that we mine out whatever it is that we want from you. So chill, girl. We are with you. Okay. First and foremost, I love your background. It's on my vision board.
My bookshelf.
If I can have something similar, looking like that, Lalela, it would be a tick and a tick for the whole year. I don't have to accomplish anything. I'll just be smiling the whole year.
Yeah, no, I'm happy.
Yeah,
I'm happy.
Your background embodies who you are. So I love that it's already telling us a story about yourself. Who is Takalani, Mama? Introduce yourself. Let the people know you.
Like, this question is so difficult, but okay, let me try. Okay, I was born and raised in Venda. I grew up in a small township in Venda called Shandima. I am the eldest and the only daughter. I've got 3 brothers. So, yeah, and I'm a mom. And, it is so funny how I actually realized that being a mom is quite a job, After my second son, I realized that, okay, being a mom is actually a big deal, And I always ask my husband, when am I going to retire so that I can take care of the kids and write books? So, yeah, I'm a mom and I'm a wife. And I now reside in Pretoria. And I work in Hatfield. I am a public servant. I work for the government. So I'm in finance. I'm a financial analyst. And when I knock off, then I become the author, national best-selling author of 7 titles. And yeah, I think that's me. That summarizes who Takalani M.
So you're in finance and you're a national best-selling author. And you've written 7 books. That's what you said, right?
Yeah, I have them. I have them.
Oh, proof.
These are all my books. They're not tiny.
Can I give you a standing ovation right now? Well done.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Today we are talking about hard work, determination, and consistency, and that it yields results. I think your life, just in general, embodies that. So that is the title that we've chosen for today, because when I hear all these things that you have accumulated for me spells out hard work, commitment, determination, and consistency. So yeah, let's take down the nerves.
Thank you.
Let's take down the nerves. If your books were to be turned into a movie or a TV series, please choose 2 of your best local artists that you would want to be featured in your movie or series. Local. That you think are talented. That's who icebreaker. It's just an icebreaker.
I'm trying to think. The thing is, because they are mostly based in Venda, I'm trying to look at Venda actors. Okay, I do have Zulu actors as well. So, you know, I don't know if you watched Mubango, like long time ago. I don't watch it now. I used to. There's this guy called Ndaramo, like in Mubango. Yeah, I think he does have some features of one of my characters. So I would have him. And who else? Let me think. Tandeka, she's Zulu. So I'm trying to think of Zulu actors. Nomzamo. I'm dreaming too high, but maybe Nomzamo.
So,
but you know what? I haven't thought about, like it's so funny how I haven't thought about that question, but you know what? In the future, obviously, we're going to turn this into, we're going to adapt this. But I haven't thought about who can be the best fit, because I think the characters are different for each and every reader. So yeah, no, I haven't dwelled much on who can act out, but
so okay, so that is still an icebreaker. We're just picking your brain right now. Tell me, because you have a way with words, right? Describe your writing style in 3 words.
Fun, sexy, and touching.
A bit of spice there.
Yeah.
There's a bit of spice.
Spicy. Yeah, I write for adults, so there's that little bit of spiciness. Because when you write about adults do adult things. So yeah, we have to take it there. And I write romance, so yeah, there must be some spiciness there.
Besides the genre, and we're not there yet, nah? We're not there yet. Besides the genre that you write about, all right, which other would you ever consider? Any other that you'd ever consider?
Maybe crime detective, but it is going to take a lot from me to do that. But if I'm to come out of my shell, I would lean towards that because I love action. And even though I have bits and pieces of it in my book, I think I would want to dwell on detective. And there isn't much detective in local books, so I think I'll go for that. But it would take a lot for me to get to that.
Nice. Thank you so much. To everybody that has just joined us, welcome. We appreciate you, and we are here to have a fun time with Takalani M, our national best-selling author. We just spoke about your literature text. Tell us about yours. I see all the questions, guys. I will get to them as soon as we progress. Yeah. So
okay.
The question is, tell us about your writing style, your genre. Yeah.
Okay. I write mostly romance. Okay, I write romance actually. I'm a hopeless. When you think of the most hopeless romantics, like I'm one of them. So I love black love, and I do it so much. I find it so easy for me to write about romance. So I'm in the romance space, and I think I'm comfortable in that space. because you know what, I want to preach about black love. You know, I want to preach about the men and the women that we don't, you know, talk about. You know, when we think of umjolo, we're thinking the worst. You know, but me now, I want to paint the love that probably you are missing out. I want to paint the love that that will inspire you if you have given up, if you have given up about love or whatever. I want to be that hope that takes you back to falling in love. You know, I want to show you what, how beautiful love is, like pure love where people really love each other, not for the things that they have, but because they are deeply, deeply in love. So I think I find it so easy, and because I also read much of romance and watch most of romantic movies and stories, I find it so easy and I find it so breathtaking. So I read romance, and then obviously because I want to make the stories a bit dramatic and all that, then I will put a spice of maybe action, because obviously you must see this thing happening. Yeah, there must be, you know what, there must be fun. No, it must be entertaining as well. As much as I would want to, yeah, as much as I would want to paint perfect love and all that, I must also bring in the drama as well to make it more fun. So yeah, I think I can consider myself a romance author.
And that's fiction, ne?
Mhm. Yes, it's fiction, but obviously a lot of people will see themselves in my book. And that's what I get. Like if people are reviewing the books or after they read and they reach out, then I realize that I was actually telling a story about someone who's living in Soweto, or someone who's, you know, at my co-worker or whatever, because my stories are more relatable, and it's because of the things that I see around me, or the people that I see, people that inspires me. And so it becomes natural and it becomes so relatable that you think you can meet these people in the shopping center. Like you think if I go to Pretoria, I can actually go and to this practice. Like one of my characters have as a doctor, so he has a practice. And I used to get people asking me, does this place exist? Can I find them if I go there? Because of how much I would paint it and make it seem like they exist. And it's because I'm telling like black stories about our people, about people that I know, about stories that we hear every day, the stories that we see that we don't see. So everything is fiction, but yeah, it's relatable because these are the issues that we are going through.
And what inspired you to write fiction stories or fiction drama?
No, I think I'm a storyteller. Like I've always been a storyteller. So it was easy for me to tell a story. And I don't think I've been through much for me to actually write maybe a memoir or a self-help book or whatever. I find it easy to tell a story because I'm a storyteller. Oh, I was saying there are poets, there are like artists are different. So in my space, I cannot recite a poem. I've realized when I was in grade 12 that I can't write a poem. I attempted, I wrote like 6 or whatever, but I am not good at it. But when it comes to storytelling, I can, like, I know I am good at that. So that's what I do. I'm a storyteller.
And then tell me, how did you discover that you were a storyteller, and how did you discover your love for writing, and when?
I started very long time ago. Like I was very young because I came across a book, like these notebooks that we have from school. When I was in grade 4, I think I was in grade 4. I used to write a dialogue between a boy and a girl. And I've always been a lover of love. So imagine at grade 4, I don't know how old they are, but at grade 4, I am writing. I'm writing a boy and a girl, boy meets girl, which is what I'm writing about right now. So I think I started very long time ago, but I have a vivid memory about spending my Sundays with my dad before he passed away. He passed away when I was in grade 9. I was in high school. But before then, in my childhood, like what I think vividly is when I used to spend Sundays with him, and we used to read newspaper, and I don't know if Sunday Times still have, there's what you call a segment for kids, read write. We used to have it long time ago, so you would give me that part, and I will be reading it. There are stories there. You cut out pieces and you make a book and all that, and you know, you write your own stories and whatnot. So I think I used to do a lot of that at that time. And also, my dad was a voice actor for Parapara, Parapara FM, which is our radio station back at home. So he was a voice actor all my life, like, as far as I remember. So he used to bring back scripts so that he can rehearse before they go and record. So they were pink in color, so he would leave them on the table, and then I would, you know, because I used to love to read, then I would go through the script. And I was so fascinated about how I could read and then imagine that whole thing happening. Like, if it's a scene of them walking into the kitchen and, you know, talking a dialogue between two people, making tea, if they describe it that way, I see it in my head. So I'm like, okay, I'm gonna try to do this and see, because it's so fascinating. How does this happen? So I did that. I practiced it, write a small dialogue, and then I will see it happening. And then I take it to watching movies and then rewriting the dialogues on the movie. And then, you know what, it just was crazy. Like, how can I see this thing happening just by reading it? So I was just fascinated from a very young age, and then I took it with me until
I think it's safe to say you have a wild imagination, né?
I think so, yeah. Yes, but then now when I write, also when you read, that's what you get. Like, that's what I get from the people who read, that I actually see this happening in my head. So I think it's just a talent, because I never went to school for these. I never, like, everything is self-taught. So I think it's just the passion, and then the talent that I have.
So I saw someone here, it seems like they've known you for quite a long time. They said they read The Royal Mistress at 16. At 16. Yeah, so I saw that.
Okay. Yeah, okay.
She says those are books worth reading.
I was saying,
so interesting.
Yeah, no, I agree.
Okay. Tell us about your journey as an author.
Okay. Okay, you know what? When I was in grade 12, we had a book club. Let me see if I have, okay, here. We had a book club, right? And then we compiled this little book with short stories and poems and whatnot. And my story was the first one. It's called My Princess is My Aunt, right? So it's like a boy who liked this girl from school, and then he wanted to meet her in town, and then the girl was like, okay, fine, we can meet in town, only to find out that the girl is dating the uncle. I don't know how I thought about that at grade 12. Yeah, I don't know how I thought about that at grade 12, but that was my first short story that was published. So after that, when I had to go to varsity, because my dad was no longer there, I think he was the one who would have told me that, you know what, you're good at storytelling, you're good at this, so let me, you know what, why don't you do creative writing? Why don't you do maybe journalism or whatever, anything related to writing? But he was not there. Yeah. And my mom, she's a teacher, but she was not much of a reader for leisure. So you can't tell her that your dream is to be a writer.
Mama wants a
how come
black plan.
It doesn't make sense. Yeah, exactly. Yes, that's why they say, okay, you love to write. We've seen you writing all your life, but you need to go to school, do your degree, get a job.
We want my kankura, and then you can write, Mama.
Thanks. So that is what happened. And because I saw my dad, before he passed away, by the time he passed away, he was a deputy principal. He had a doctorate. He was a voice actor. He used to play sports. He used to be a lecturer at night. I think there was a bet for older people. Yeah, so he used to. So he comes back from work. He goes to another job. He goes to another job. So it was natural for someone to do so many things. You know, to
And
have
you
side
still
hustles.
had time with him.
And then he still made time. Like weekends, I know Sundays afternoon, like it's me and him, and because my little brothers were younger. But I knew that Sundays is we're gonna wake up, we're gonna go to church. After church, we're gonna go and buy newspaper. After that, we're gonna sit down and read, and that was us. So that's what I know. You know, exactly. He did. He made it work. So when my mom said, yeah, exactly. Yeah, no, true. So when my mom said, you know what, no, you can't be a writer, okay, and then you also will look around you. There's not a lot of writers who do it for a living. So you don't even have someone to say, oh, I know this person who does it full time and they're making money and they're rich or whatever. So you don't even have reference. So then when I passed grade 12, I went to TUT, have to study finance, which I did for 4 years. After my BTech, I got a job. Luckily, I didn't stop writing because it was something that I would do. Yeah, I would do on the side. When I'm not writing exams, I would be doing it on the side. So I've always been writing until I read. Then I started working. You're starting working. You're making money now, and now you're starting a family. You know, a lot is happening. But luckily, I didn't stop writing. I was still doing it on the side, and because I was so artistic at church, in the youth group, I used to be active with drama and all those things. So I always knew that, you know what, one day I am going to be an author. And okay, but that was kind of crushed a bit because you know, you send your manuscripts to publishers and they're like, no, well, not good enough. You know, you get those rejection letter. But then luckily I didn't stop writing. I'm like, okay, maybe one day, someday, I don't know, I'll keep getting better, right? Until I came across Dudu's books, Dudu Busani Dube. Yes. She writes fiction as well. Yes. She wrote Film with the Wife. Yes. So when I read her book, I'm like, no, wait. Yeah. I write just like her. So maybe this is possible, right? And then I started following her journey, how she did it, and only to find out that she self-published her books. So then I was interested, okay, maybe this is something that I'm gonna do in the future. So I kind of followed her, stalked her actually, until she hosted a workshop, a mini workshop. She had a few of us, and she was telling us about the industry, what to do, what not to do, all those things, everything about the industry, because she was not the first to self-publish in South Africa, but then she was just one of the few who have done it successfully. Yes, and then now, because I could relate to her work, then I'm like, okay, I'm gonna follow her. So after that, I had to challenge myself. I'm like, okay, well, I know what I need to do. I need to start writing, but I wasn't confident enough because I don't know if people are gonna receive my work fine. So I'm thinking, how am I gonna do? Am I gonna start writing a book and then take it to the bookstores and then no one buys the book? So what's gonna happen? Right. So that December, I think it was 2015. 2015. Habi was like, "Hey, we're not going on vacation this year, December, so we're just gonna go to work and then we're gonna go to Venda to visit our families. So we're not planning a vacation that December." So I was bored. There was nothing to do, and it wasn't too hectic at work. And when I come back from I wasn't much of a I didn't watch TV much. So when I come back home, I'm bored. I'm like, okay, let me open a Facebook page and see, because it was popular at the time. People are writing on Facebook. So I open a Facebook page and I write a first chapter and then I put it there. Then there's one reader, two readers, three readers. And then the next thing, then I kept on writing because I'm bored. I don't have much time. Like, I have too much time in my head, so I'm just writing. And one day, I think someone read the book and went to Dudu Busani's page on Facebook. It was big. That time it was so big that time. And then she was like, "Hi guys, you know what? I
Yeah.
found this author. She's new. Her name is Takalani M. She's writing something on Facebook. This is the link." And then one day I wake up to thousands and thousands of people reading the work.
Like,
And I'm like, what?
I saw your Facebook
Like,
page,
yeah,
and I
I'm
was
just
like,
getting pings.
I'm like, about 70K
Yes, I'm
thousand
getting pings.
people that are reading these books.
Yes, right now, right now we're 85, but 85,000. But at that time,
Yeah.
2,000 was too much. From two people to 2,000 in one night, and then to 5,000
Yeah.
to 10,000. So I was like, oh my goodness, this is so crazy. So then I started writing. Okay, I'm enjoying the back and forth, until people started asking, so where can I buy this book? I went to Exclusive Books. They don't have the book. And I'm like, no, guys, I'm just writing for fun,
Yeah.
it's not a serious thing. Sorry, excuse me. So then I'm like, okay, actually, let me stop here and then finish it offline and do the whole process for publishing a book and then have it into the bookstore and see how it's gonna work. So I pulled out the first book, The Rare Mistress, and then I started the new story altogether. And we printed, I think after publishing it, we printed about 300 copies. I went home. I'm like, Mom, I've got this thing happening. Habi and I are gonna, you know what? She's gonna give me money. We're gonna publish a book because self-publishing, you pay for all the services, right? So I'm like, okay, please help me with 20,000. We're gonna print the books. We're gonna do these. We're gonna do cover designs. We're gonna try edit. We're gonna do all the things. So please help us, and then I'm gonna return it when I start making money. So we printed about 300 copies, and I think they were finished in like 3 days. Like 3 days, they were gone, and now I had to be like a serious author. So that is where everything started in 2016 until now. We are at seven books.
So in just 3 days, you sold out all 300 copies.
Everything was gone. So we had to print more, and then the demand became big when we went to the bookstores. Obviously, people are going there already. Where can we get this book? So then that's how I started, and here we are now.
Sure. Yeah. Interesting. So, like you said, you don't have much of a personal experience that you could share, hence you went to fiction. Now, I want to ask you, you shared a little bit with me that your books have a strong sense of inspiration. So what inspires you to create such meaningful stories or uplifting stories to say?
I think with each and every artist, you want to use your talent to spread the word. If they're saying, okay, we are dealing with rape in our country, you want to lend a hand in getting the message out there, in teaching people. So as a storyteller, then I'm gonna use my talent to reach out to those who love to read, to that market. So that is what I use my books for. And I also preach in my books. There's so much of God. I try to not make it Christian, but there's God at the end of the day, and I would also want to teach people about our culture and I would want to mostly it's more of sending out the message, right? So I use the storytelling, will bring characters go through the things that other people are going through and use their stories to touch people's lives or to send healing, because some people will go through the same process of finding healing, to a point where you get people who will ask me, are you a therapist? And I'm like, no, I'm in finance, but because each character that I write about, if I'm writing about a nurse, if I'm writing about a doctor, I must go and learn how doctors do their work. I need to learn the terms. If you're a therapist, I've got a therapist in one of the books. I have to go and dig deep on how do they deal with situations, how do they help people heal. Preaching was easy because I grew up in church. So there's a lot that I have to do my research, so that when you read as a therapist, let's say, you must say, oh, okay, no, she's right. Yeah, I could ask the same to someone who's going through this issue. So it's more of just bringing things to light. There's so many things in my book, in my books, all of them, in general. There's grieving, like if you want to read about loss, there's rape, because we can't run away from that issue, which is big, and how it's affecting young people and people who are going through that. Yes, and then also the in-laws, the dynamics of the families, the in-laws when you get married, past lives as well, exes, all those things. So almost everything that people are going through, that inspires me to write their stories. I want people to hear about their stories and the things that they're going through. So I just use my talent to send the message, just like a preacher would have a message for the congregation. So yeah, I use my books to send a message, to spread the word, and also to teach, and also to offer healing as well, and so that you see that whatever that people are going through, okay, in my fiction world, actually it gives people hope. I always get people who say, this book made me survive whatever I was going through. This book made me heal. Like, this book helped me. Yeah, I started a journey with this character because I felt like I needed it, and then now I'm fine when the book ended. So that is all I
Actually
need.
reminding me of Tyler Perry. His movies are stories, basically. It's fiction, but he uses his storytelling to actually inspire, give hope, restore, so I think we understand your type of style of writing too, that you inspire, but through storytelling. So yes. So how do you come up with the ideas of your books? I went through the first series, which is The Royal Mistress. The other one is Into the Sun, and the other one is the Revival. Is it the Rival? The Rival. I think there's a lot of vendor. The first one is about a vendor guy from the royal who's set to marry someone who's preordained, but falls in love with a waitress that he's forbidden to marry. How do you come up with your ideas? Please share with us.
Okay. I think I saw a question from someone asking what was my first book. So let me put them in sequence, and I'll tell you.
Please, my apologies, I didn't see it.
And okay. So now we got into it and we're running. So it's okay. So my first book is this one. It is The Royal Mistress, right? It is part of a series of 3 books right now. The 4th should be coming out anytime soon. Could be next month, it could be early Jan. It's just that I don't want to, I want to be sure before I talk about the release date. But it's anytime. So for now, The Royal Mistress have 3 books, and which is The Royal Mistress, and then the second book is Adelaide, and then The Rival. That's the 3rd book, and then the 4th one is gonna be Aftermath. So when I wrote this series, because it's my first, you're gonna write about things that you know, right? I think it's easy to write about the things that you know, and I come from Venda, and from Venda we have a lot of royal families. Like probably every third family that you meet is related to royal. Yeah, so we have a lot of that around us. So I was always fascinated about how they live their lives, and how, like, I did not understand. Do they choose a wife for you? You can't fall in love, and then me being a lover of love, I wanna fall in love. Like how? Like how does it work? I never used to understand. So I'm like, okay, this is nice. This is actually fascinating. So I'm gonna write a book about love and then take it back home, because home is what we know, right? So when I wrote this first book is about, you explained a bit about it, is Ria Dibua and Mulachawe, right? Mulachawe is a doctor. At age 30, the parents told him that he was supposed to get married. So he knew all his life that you're gonna have to take over your father. And there was a reason why. In the middle of the book, it did explain why the father was forcing so much for him to take over the throne. So he knew that at 30 years old, he's supposed to marry. He's supposed to get married to this woman that he has never met before. And it was normal, because they teach you all your life. They go to a royal boarding school where they teach them their ways. So he knew. But because he has dreams, like he wanted to, he had a practice with his friend, which the father was financed, right? So he wanted to expand. He has so many dreams for his practice. So he's like, when the father came to tell him that now it's time, now you are 30, it's about time that you take a wife. So then they meet in a restaurant. So they want to tell him, hey, dude, time is ticking, you have to get married. And now he says, okay, you know what, I need time. And then like, no, they're fighting. So he goes to the bathroom, to the toilet. He wants to calm down. You know what, he's frustrated, he's angry. And because of respect, he can't shout at his dad. So he wants to take off the steam in the bathroom. So when he's there in the bathroom, here comes a girl. She's knocking on the door, like, hello, is there someone in here? So he's thinking, okay, there's no way a male can come into the men's restroom. So this person is probably knocking on the other door. So then he doesn't attend to her, and then he's just trying to calm down. He's trying to calm down, only for that girl to come in, because she didn't get a response. So she comes in and then finds him there. And then she's like, oh my goodness, are you panicking? Is it your girlfriend? Are you here with your girlfriend? You know, what's going on, whatever. Because she's the waitress, she was there to put the towel. So she wanted to, she was there to put the towels, because the other waiter was on a smoking break. So she had to put in new towels and whatnot. So they had an engagement. That 5 minutes engagement, just, back and forth. Hey, why are you so uptight? What's going on? Whatever. So at that time, he's so shocked that how can this person warm my heart? Like, I've never felt like these, love at first sight. You meet someone and then, oh wow, how am I so? Yeah, so that is what happened to him. And then now it changes everything now. Because he's saying that if I met this girl and I felt the things that I felt with her for meeting her for just 5 minutes, then I mean, maybe there is love out there, So let me see if I can, dig deep into this thing. So that is how the drama started now, because now he's changing his mind about getting into a marriage where there's no love. So it's like, let me try this thing out. But then now, because it's from a royal family, they're like, no, hell no, we're not gonna get a commoner who's gonna come here and just change our ways of doing things. She doesn't understand the things that we have to do. And then on this other side, he has fallen in love. And when he met her again, he didn't tell her about who he was. So they were deeply in love, and it was too hard for them to come out. So he had to choose between family or wifey. And so it was that.
Is it safe to ask who
and a lot of action that happened. I'll be telling the story. So that is what actually happens. Like, there's so much drama, the in-laws, like, they don't want her to get married, they don't want them to get married. Then there's secrets in the families, there's just so many things happening. So it's just drama. So the name of the story, if they want to know more, buy the book. It's the real.
Just buy the book.
It's on the book. Yes. So on the second one, I hope I'll be quick. Okay, on the second one is this Adelaide. So Adelaide is about Mula, the prince, the sister, right? Her she didn't believe in love. Like, no, you can't tell me nothing about love because of the trauma. Like when she was growing up, she went through some things in high school. So to her, love like was just like, nah, don't tell me about love. You understand? And her father knew. Her father knew, and because she loved money, her father's money, she was too spoiled. Yeah. Right? They're coming from a big family. So because he knew that his daughter loved money and he wants her to get married, he's like, okay, I'm gonna tame you with an ultimatum for you to get the money, access to her money. You're gonna have to be married. So now she had to find someone to marry, but because she doesn't believe in love, she faked it with the prince that she was supposed to get married to. She's like, okay, dude, you need money, I need money, let's do this thing and just get the money and then we'll divorce, you know? So that's what she said. And then they did that. And then only for the heart to want what the heart wants. The heart wants it wants. And then now they are falling in love, and then there's like, hey, chaos. Like it's crazy. And then the third book, I'm dramatic.
No, listen.
The third book,
I want to live in your brain just for one day. Just for a day. And I want to see, while you're doing those numbers, what is going on in there?
Yeah. And it's so funny that the person that you meet and the things that you read, like you would think it's not the same person. Like that's how crazy it is. Yeah. So on the third one, it's more of Mullah and Ria going through the most. And on this one, they have to, just like Harry and Morgan, what was happening in the royal family, and all that chaos. And it's so funny how I wrote this book before everything happened. Yeah, exactly. So I'm like, I know, I could be a prophet. So that is what happens. So the fourth book is going to be talking about what happened after when they walked away from whatever. So that was the first series. The second series is After Dawn, which is made out of 3 books. These ones are thick, okay? Which is made out of Into the Sun, Love Tangle, and Wounded Hearts, right?
Yeah.
This one is my favorite. I'll tell you why. So Into the Sun, it talks about grief and loss. And okay, just to tell you how the story started, because I can't summarize the whole book. Okay, there's this guy. His name is Bundo Radzirani. He lives. He has a life in Pretoria. He has a company in Pretoria. But because when he got married, his wife, who ended up to be his ex-wife, did not get along with his son from his previous relationship. So because of that, the child had to go stay with the grandmother back in Venda. So one day he gets a call that the son passed away. So now he had to drive to Venda for the funeral, to prepare for the funeral and everything. So on his way there, he's on the call with his daughter, the little one. So he's trying to calm her down because he's not there. He had to leave first to go prepare for the funeral. So he's on the call there on the way, and because he's absent-minded, he knocks on something on the road. It's dark because it's in Venda, like in the villages and whatnot. So it's dark and he knocks on something. So then he stops the car. He comes out of the car. Then he finds this woman crying, weeping on the side of the road. But now he's freaking out. What's going on? Did I just bump into this woman? What's going on? What did I do? I don't need this. You know what? I'm mourning my son. I need to go bury that. That lady who was there, who was weeping, actually threw the bucket on the road. That's what he hit, and it was because she was having a meltdown. It was her child's death anniversary. She gave birth to a stillborn. So she was still mourning. She's so hurt, and it's a year later, but still she's in pain. She can't go through that, and because it is the birthday, like she's in emotions. So then she explains, okay, the reason why I'm like this is because it could have been my child's birthday today, but the child is gone. So right there, right then, Gundo is like telling her words to, like, no, you know what, yeah, you know what, your child is watching over you. She's your angel, and all that, and that is all she needed to hear. Those words were what she needed to hear. So fine, they went their separate ways. So later on, Tandeka found out that actually the guy is here to bury his son, So then she wanted to reach out to also offer the same comfort. And then that's how they started their relationship. Then they went through the most. Well, what's the story with that drama? And also, because it's Into the Sun, I wanted to take them into a journey where they go through the worst pains in life, like whatever relationship, like whatever thing you can think of in a relationship. I wanted them to go through the most so that they can come out stronger. And then some people would say, okay, actually I'm not even going through half of the things that these people are going through, so probably my case is actually, so that is that story. So okay, and then this one is just another chaotic life and whatnot.
Chaos.
Chaos. Like just everything is just like a mess.
That's all she's saying is that your chaos is nothing. Don't worry, you're not going through the most.
No, but it's the things that everyone is going through. Like you will find yourself like, oh my goodness, these I did, and whatnot. And okay, then the third book is this one, which
my favorite.
Is very close to my heart. Obviously the Royal Mistress, because it's my first baby, it's close to my heart, but because of how this book have healed so many people, and I felt it when I was writing it, and it was the most emotional book that I've ever written. Like it's very close to my heart, and I went all out on this one. Wow. And there's rape as like it's okay, like it's deep. So what happens in this one, there's this girl, her name is Tuli. So Tuli comes from Soweto. Her parents, she has a sister, and their parents separated, and I don't know, the wife, the mother, started drinking a lot. She was an alcoholic. But because she did not have money, she now started entertaining men, in a sense that they would buy alcohol and she would entertain them in her home. Like she would sit with them, they would buy more alcohol, and then she thought it was innocent because nothing beyond that was happening. But she did not know that when she gets drunk, those men have their way with her kids, right? So that whole thing destroyed the girls, right? So when Tuli now when she grows up, she doesn't want anyone in her life. She doesn't want help from anyone. It is only her and her sister. Everybody else don't matter. So she have built a wall around her. She doesn't believe in love. Don't tell her about love. Don't tell her about anything that has to do with anything. Like all she wanted was to work. She hustles. She works hard. She just want to take herself to school. And she was very, 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 very intelligent. And then now, then there's this guy called Putti going through his own demons. Wounded Hearts is two people who are going through their own demons, and then now they meet and whatnot. So he's going through his own issues, but then now he likes this girl. So he tries to go in. He tries to pursue her. She doesn't want. There's this wall that she's built around her. So to a point where now Putti has tried everything he could to make it work, and they've been spending time together, but still Tuli is not, she's not just, she doesn't want him in. And to a point where Putti was like, okay, I think I've tried everything I can. Like this is not gonna work. So I'm just gonna move on with my life. You move on with your life. But Tuli was not up for that. Like I think she kind of loved the guy, but because of her own traumas and her own issues, she couldn't let him in, right? So when she saw him entertaining another girl, and then she was certain the way at a party, and she was certain that they're gonna sleep together. It did not sit well with her because like she can't let him go. She can't have him, but no one can have him. Like kind of that situation. So now she goes to the sister. So then she goes to the sister and she's like, "Hey sis, this is the situation. If he sleeps with her, it's gonna break me. I'm gonna explain everything to him, and if you help me cock block him, I'm gonna go to therapy." And that is all the sister wanted to hear because she's been trying to take her to therapy. She didn't want. So if cock blocking this guy from sleeping with that woman is going to be the reason she goes to therapy, then we are going to do that. So that is what she did. And then she had to explain to Putty why she is the way that she is, and that she is ready to get healing. So the book takes them on a journey, the healing journey, therapy, prayers, and all those things. Like you see it all. Like we unpack everything in detail. When she sits in that room with the therapist, you feel her emotions, you see her, like you see her open up, you see her become the person that she ended up to be. So I felt like this was very different from me because I love perfect. I love perfect love. I want to write about perfect love, but then when it came to these, I had to come out of my shell to tell it, just as it is. So those are the two services, and the last one is a standalone, which is A Burning Desire. A Burning Desire is a standalone, this one. Maybe a next book is going to come, because after reading it for 2 years, I'm like, oh yeah, actually, we need another book.
Continue.
Yeah. I also want to know what's going to happen next, you know? So with The Burning Desire, here comes, everyone loves love, right? And then there's this girl, she's like me. She's a lover of love. Like, she believes in love. So you hurt her, whatever, but love is love, you know? So she ended up with 2 kids from 2 different baby daddies. And that kind of made her fight with the mother. She comes from a very wealthy family, but she was not good enough. She felt like she's not good enough for a family because she's a disappointment in a way. And her mother was very, very toxic. And she used to let her know that, like, you are such a disappointment. And the mother had her own issues, you know, because the father left and went abroad and left her with the baby. So I think she had issues with that Olisedi, because she's the first child, she kind of destroyed her dreams or whatever the case, right? So they had a very, very bad relationship. And so now when her engagement did not go according to plan, when she had to now break up with the father of the second child, she did not want to go back home because obviously they're going to tell her, you are such a disappointment. Obviously, we told you, how could you leave your family to live with this man, and now you are in debt and all those things. So the father loved her very much. So she's like, okay, look, I have a tax for you. I'm gonna buy. I'm considering buying a resort which is in Venda. So I want you to go there, take some time off. I'll pay off whatever your debts, and I'm gonna take you to Venda. You go there and work as a manager, see how things are, and tell me if this is gonna be a good investment. So she said, okay, cool, I'm gonna go there, provided you don't tell anyone who I am, because now people are gonna treat me differently and that I'm coming from a rich family or whatever. So please don't tell anybody who I am. I'm just gonna go there as just a new manager. So when she went there, she falls in love with this guy. She likes this guy who did not want to let her in because his plan was to find justice for his sister, for his twin sister. So he knew that he's not going to be here for long. It's going to be maybe in the next year he's going to go, and so he cannot have a relationship because it's just going to complicate everything. But again, the love wants what it wants, so they fall in love, and then now it's chaotic because she's deeply in love, and she has told herself, this is the last relationship that I'm going to try. And then the guy hides the truth about him having to leave, and now it was just chaos. Like, she's just heartbroken to no return. She has given up on love, and that is where we were. And
No.
so it was just so sad. But it's things that some people are going through because of the disappointment. That, you know, it's like, yeah, it's yeah. So yeah. Before we forget, I saw someone asking where can they buy the books. You know, the books are in exclusive books, Bagan Books, Take a Lot, or on my website, stories by Takalani M. .co.za. So yeah, that's me. Those are my babies. 7 of them.
Every book has chaos. Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's what people are going through when they come and say Mujolo Anisa or whatever. Sorry for the word, but it's because of things that people go through, like serious deep things that people are going through. So I painted the way it is. I painted the way that you say it. I painted the way that you'll see that, okay, yeah, no, this is believable. These I've said, these I've went through. So I tell it as it is. I don't sell fantasy. I don't sell things that don't exist. Okay, maybe from the characters who are rich, maybe I'll be selling like, okay, I'll give you hope that a rich guy will come and, you know, hook up with you. But that is all. That is as far as I can go. I don't sell fantasy. Like, I tell the real stories just the way they are.
I just want to go through the comments just very fast. King Maso says, have you made your books into a movie yet? Some says, wow, oh my goodness. Some says they can't wait for the next book that you're about to launch. Wow, interesting. I need to get myself this book. Interesting. What's the name of that story? It's still to come. She will let us know. Now I want to read the book. It has been 5 years. Okay, clearly that's a follower. Where can I get the book? I think she's answered that. Oh, there's a lot of comments, but yeah. I hope there will be a follow-up to A Burning Desire. She said, yeah, there's hope. There's hope, my girl. There's hope. Wounded Hearts will make you cry, so triggering. Wow, I actually want to read the Wounded Heart. Okay. So yeah, we've just been going through the comment sections. Thank you guys for sending your comments. You can still keep them coming. My darling, I want to find out from you. Remember, our title is Hard Work, Determination, and Consistency. And how has that just impacted your life? What does that say to you? Hard work, you know, consistency, determination.
No, I think if you have a dream that bends like your heart, like, you know, this is something that I want to do. That is what I did. I went for what I wanted. I knew that even though I have to go study finance, I'm a storyteller, and I am going to be a storyteller one day. It took me so many years. I could have done it 20 years ago, but I did not give up when it felt like, okay, maybe this thing won't work, you know, maybe focus on paying the bills and whatnot. But passion, I think passion and the talent is what fulfills us. You know, we might not be making too much money from it, but if it's something that you love, it becomes easy. If you can make money out of it, it's even more, you know, it's more fulfilling.
It's rewarding.
So I had to make it work with the family, with the husband, with the work, with school as well. I had to make it work. And that is easy when you know what you want. So you put aside time, just as much as you put aside time to be with your kids, to be with your husband, to do the work. You also put time for your own dreams and for whatever that you want to do. So that is what I did. I had to put aside my time If it meant not seeing my friends whenever I want to, it had to be that. If it meant not watching TV, if it meant not sleeping, I had to do that. Like I
Wow.
would, my weekends, I would say, okay, now it's Friday, I'm gonna sleep on Saturday morning because I just want to make this happen. So I had to do it. I had to work hard, and obviously consistency on your work, because you can't start something and then you stop. If I had done that, I don't think I would have been this far. You put in the work, you keep on doing that work, and you just make sure you show up all the time. And yeah, if you set aside time, on every day at 8 o'clock, I need an hour to work on this dream. You make it happen. Every day you make it happen. Just as much as you take your kids to school every day, you must also
Yeah.
work on your dream as well. So for me, it worked that way, that I had to be consistent in my work. I had to work hard. I had to know that, at this, even though I'm gonna reap the results in the next 10 years, I am still gonna do it because I know this is what I want. So yeah, in a nutshell, that's, yeah.
What I like is that I heard you say, in a nutshell, it took sacrifice.
Yeah,
A lot of
definitely.
sacrifice. You said if
Definitely.
it meant not sleeping, you did not sleep. If it meant not going out with friends, you did not. So you held on to your dream, Mama, and that's very
Definitely.
important. And I think
Definitely.
that's what happens along the way. We lose the dream only because we are looking at what's happening around us, and then it sways us astray, and then we end up not focusing on what we're supposed to do in our lives, and then we wonder what happened, and we think God does not love us when we did not focus on what was important. We just decided to focus on the little circumstances that were happening around us. So love that very much. I'm actually taking that with me tonight. Maybe just here there is someone who's saying, I want to be an author. I want to publish books. So in this world of self-publishing, in this world of traditional publishing, what advice could you give someone who says, I also want to write books of my own?
Okay, yeah. I think now it is easy because you can do it yourself. And I think the market has kind of opened up for self-publishers as well. Because it's, if you have the money and you are willing to work like 100, yeah, like if you want to work hard, like you can go for it. And also it depends on what you want. So with the traditional publishing, it's easy, straightforward. You give them the manuscript, and then, okay, you can shop for publishers. Sometimes they do open a slot to say, okay, now we are taking manuscripts, you can submit. So you can shop for that and then send the manuscript. Then they'll give you royalties, which could probably not be as much. So if you're not in for the money, obviously, that is the route that you can take. And it's easy because they do everything for you. You don't lift a finger. All you do is write the book, and all you do is gonna be to read, and they'll do everything else for you. So there's that. And then with self-publishing, it means you're gonna make a living out of it, but it is hard work, it is expensive, but it is worth it if you do work hard. So with self-publishing, it means that you are gonna do things yourself, which means that when it comes to the cover design, you're gonna have to find someone who's gonna, you're gonna find someone who's gonna do your cover design, and that's money. You pay for that. You're gonna find editors, you pay for that. You're gonna find proofreaders, you're gonna pay for that. You're gonna have your book laid out so that it's professionally, done. So you pay for everything. Then you're gonna have to go printing. Like it's it's a lot of money. You pay for that as well. So you have to spend to actually have your product out. And then after that, if you want your books to go to the bookstores, then you still have to shop for a distributor who's gonna be who's gonna take your books to the bookstores, the middleman between you and the bookstores, because some bookstores would want you to have the distributors. So all that you become a business person actually, because you have to also market your book. Now you're gonna be the one to sell the books because they are your merchandise. So you do all the work, and then obviously the profits will come back should you sell the book. So those are the two options that you have. It depends on what you want and what you are willing to do.
Yeah. So I understand that traditional publishing is not always easy because you can get rejected based on right?
Yeah, definitely, yeah. Obviously,
and
they
like
have
you said, you also once got rejected.
Yeah. When I started a long time ago, because they are looking for maybe certain I don't know why the rejection, because I did it long time ago.
Yeah.
And I felt like, okay, probably yes, I was not yet matured for what I was doing. So okay, I understood it in that aspect. So now I don't know what could be the reason for rejection. Maybe it is not, the story is not what they're looking for right now. It doesn't mean that you're not good enough. No. It just means that probably at that time they're looking for these type of stories. Then they will take those which so it doesn't mean that you're not good enough. If you get rejected, you can try 10 times. You can try as many times as you want. Maybe at that time, sometimes they will tell you the theme of how they want the stories to be. So don't give up if you are trying out the traditional publishing, and if they reject you, it doesn't mean you are not good enough. It just means probably at the time, maybe their budget, they've found maybe 5 manuscripts that they want to publish in that year, so they don't have space for you. So there's just so many reasons that they can reject you.
So just because you get a no in life, it doesn't mean you're denied. It just means your turn is coming.
Definitely.
Your turn is coming.
Yeah.
Definitely. Do you think your mom, being the way she was, helped you in a way now that you're in finance and now that you've published 7 books? Do you see how it has helped you, or do you think, no, I would have survived either ways, I could have just done this and it would have been a success? Or do you see how your profession has assisted in where you are today with publishing your books?
Okay, I think personally with me, I believe that because I'm a Christian, I believe that everything happens for a reason. There's a reason why I had to start there. Probably because I'm gonna have to budget for my own millions, There's a reason why I started there. So I know, and I always say to my husband as well that, you know what, actually maybe I had to learn all these things because I had to apply that into our business. So it did help that I had accounting. And honestly speaking, this industry is very difficult. So I don't know if I would be living the life that we are living right now if I did not start in corporate, because it is difficult. And imagine a bestseller in South Africa is like 5,000 copies. In America, just because our market is not ready to buy the books, and we're still starting small, and even though it's growing, and even though there are people who read the books, it is quite small compared to America, where you sell millions and millions and millions. You understand? So had I not had a corporate job, I don't think I would have been living the comfortable life that we are living right now. So doing it both kind of helped, because I can pay the bills and then focus on spending on my dream. Like it's possible. It's like it's doable. And also, it's very hard. It would have made me work harder. And I don't know, maybe things would have been different. Maybe I would have been, I don't know. I wouldn't have met my husband as well if I did not go to TUT. So everything worked out the way it was.
So good.
Everything
it all works out good.
And I was saying, God always guides our steps. So I believe that He wanted me to be there so that I met my husband, because he needs me, I need him, because he has done my projects. Like, he's the one who does the covers for me. He runs, he's my he runs the project. So had I not met him, I probably wouldn't have realized my dream. I probably wouldn't be a best-selling author right now. So everything happened for the way it was supposed to. Yeah.
So Deborah says, I'm still waiting to be on the cover page, wink. Lungi is saying, I'm not even much of a reader, but her books are so interesting. I'm already so interested. Woo, please repeat on where we can get hold of the books. Take a lot, exclusive books. Please, you can get them there. And then thank you, Queen. This was so thank you, Queens. This was so inspirational by Dipuo. Thank you so much, Mama. But I just want you to wrap up and just tell us what you want people to take away from your books. What is it that you want people to take away from your books?
Ooh, you know what? When I write, I actually don't. You know, this is a difficult question when they say, "What do you want people to learn from your books?" Because I don't intentionally impose my teachings on anyone. You actually learn whatever that you want to pick from the book, and you might read one book, and five of you take five different themes, which I did not even think about. But at the end of the day, I think I wanna say that love wins. Love wins.
I was about to.
Yeah, love wins, and yeah, individually, you will see with all the characters, like they have dreams as well, and you see how much they've worked to make their dreams come true. So yeah, love wins, and everything will be okay. Everything will be okay.
Thank you so very much. I think just with the summary that you've also given up, that's what I also picked up, that love wins. It doesn't matter the fire it can go through, can be tested, but it will always win. Thank you so much. It's been an honor and privilege to have you in our space. Thank you for choosing us on a Tuesday.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. This was fun.
Really.
Thank you, Rose. Yeah.
Thank you so much. And to everybody that has joined our live, I hope that you enjoyed this insightful and inspirational conversation. And guys, remember, if you have to take away anything from this conversation, it's that don't give up. Hold on to your dream and work hard to make your dream come true. She said she did not sleep sometimes. She had to sacrifice some dates with friends. There's a lot that you are doing that is not fruitful in your life. Let go of those things. Pursue your dream and make sure those dreams come true. And guys, essay, let's start reading, please. Our authors need us. You know, there are some people who live off of that money from buying books. Can we please buy those books? Start reading them. Reading helps, guys. Please, reading helps.
Yeah.
Irene says, I love your great storyteller. Indeed, thank you, and God continue to bless you. So people really love your books. I see Madame says love wins. Dipuo says love wins. Thank you guys. You guys are an amazing audience. Thank you. I hope you will join us next Tuesday. We will be having someone else. Next week, we're having a male person in our presence. Yeah, we've been having women all the time. So next week, we have a male. Join us. I'm your girl, Queenie. Bye-bye. I love you all. I love you all.
I don't even know how to get off.
Bye, guys. Bye, guys.